Hi, good evening. My name's Andrea Gartner, and I'm manager of City Center Danbury, and welcome to tonight's program, the Connecticut Film Festival, creating a signature event for downtown Danbury. Danbury has always been a place about community, and nowhere can the community celebrate better with all its citizens than downtown. As manager of the Danbury Downtown Special Services District, also known as City Center, my job is to institute the principles of organization, design, promotion, and business restructuring according to the National Main Street Revitalization Program for Main Streets USA. This federal program was created about 20 years ago to address the concerns of declining downtowns across the U.S. with the building of malls and big box retail stores outside city centers. City Center Danbury is a member of the National Trust for Historic Preservation and the Connecticut Main Street Center, the state organization that institutes this four-step program. City Center comprises about 1 square mile of the Special Services District that overlaps the historic downtown. The district runs from Franklin Street by the railroad tracks down to St. Peter's Church and about a block on either side. City Center is a non-for-profit organization that is led by a board of commissioners. We meet monthly throughout the year, and I will say that I am very fortunate to have such a committed and thoughtful group guiding our future efforts. We mindfully use the principles of organization, design, promotion, and business restructuring as a filter in our programming and organizational decisions. City Center is supported through a special tax that is levied on the property owners and also support that the City of Danbury offers us. Our local business community is a key component to our ability to offer the programming that we do. We welcome individual donations to the Danbury Downtown Council so that we can continue to improve and expand our events. And spring is arriving downtown. There are more pedestrians on the sidewalk. The fauna in Elmwood and Kennedy Parks is about to bud, and at City Center we are gearing for our upcoming events. Mark your calendars for all the exciting things headed our way here downtown, the urban core of the Housatonic Valley. If you're a wrestling fan, then come downtown this weekend for the Danbury Slam at the Danbury Arena. There will be a fan fest this Saturday, March 29th from 5 to 7 p.m. with a 7:30 bell time. If the Sandman, Justin Credible, Tatanka, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, and Spike Dudley are guys you want to see up close and personal, get yourself to the ice rink this Saturday. Kids are free with each general admission ticket. Over 500 tickets have been sold, and there are more great seats available. You can call 794-1704 for additional info or log on to danburywrestling.com. Also at the Danbury Arena, a great place for family entertainment in April is the Garden Brothers Circus, Friday, April 4th, Saturday, April 5th, and Sunday, April 6th. There will be real elephants and a pony show, as well as the usual circus fare. The show on Friday is at 7:30, and with 2 shows each Saturday and Sunday at 12 and 4 p.m. Tickets are available at the Danbury at danburyice.com or by again calling 794-1704. Last year, the circus attracted close to 3,000 people to the downtown area. In addition, you'll want to keep plugged into all the good music emanating from Main Street. City Ale House continues to offer musical offerings throughout the month. Sub Rosa Party at Cousin Larry's continues to crank most nights of the week, and the Heirloom Arts Theater at 155 Main Street has a special weekend of music planned in conjunction with WXCI this April 18th through the 20th. April is also the month that season tickets go on sale at the Danbury Ice Arena for Danbury's new hockey team. In a press conference this past Monday, the Eastern Professional Hockey League enthusiastically announced their arrival in Danbury. Downtown will once again have its own professional hockey team, and we get to name it. The new owners want the community to get involved, and you have your chance at ephl.com to enter your suggestion. I've submitted my 2, the Danbury City Centers and the Danbury Hat Trick. Season tickets go on sale April 1st with the season opening November 1st, and 25 home games will be played. Now looking ahead to May, definitely mark your calendars for the Connecticut Film Festival. On Wednesday, February 6th, the Danbury Common Council met to discuss the city's sponsorship to name downtown Danbury as the host city for the Connecticut Film Festival. The approval of the Connecticut Film Festival the approval of the city to sponsor the Connecticut Film Festival is a ringing endorsement of our efforts at City Center Danbury and will definitely be a boon to downtown. There is no doubt that cultural and art offerings contribute to the quality of life and define our community as a great place to live and work. City Center is working with the Connecticut Film Festival organization and the Housatonic Valley Cultural Alliance to stage the 3 main events. The first event will take place opening night, Tuesday, May 20th, at the Palace Theater. Yes, the Palace will be available for film screenings. The opening reception will also be held at the Palace Theater, and with the help of the creative minds of Carter Boyajian and Peter Castellucci, who brought downtown the amazing sound, light, and photo montage installation at the Palace for first night, this event is not one to be missed. We're also in talks with the Ancient Order of Hibernians, who have a club right next to the Palace, of taking over their space during the film festival. Our creative team is hoping to establish an after-hours, invitation-only club with a 70s disco theme for the duration of the film festival. Wouldn't you like access to the green room, the place to see and be seen during the Connecticut Film Festival? Of course, there's more to come. The next Gateway Mural Project is in the works. The Hat City Music Festival will be back this June. Our summer concert series on the Green, Meeker's Hardware's 125th anniversary, the Danbury Symphony's Orchestra Pops and Fireworks Concert, return of the Farmers Market to Kennedy Park, a car cruise and bike night, Nutmeg Game Exhibition Sports, the extremely popular Ghost Walks. This summer we will help with a Wall of Food drive. We want to collect 100 tons this summer for Danbury's most neediest. And our headline talent for the Taste of Danbury has been booked. So please come downtown in September for Blue Oyster Cult. I really feel that the changes in the past year and what we have planned moving forward are shaping the public's perception that downtown Danbury is a place with unlimited potential to grow. And this perception is not a pipe dream. Downtown Danbury's time has come, and the time is now. To build downtown Danbury into an arts, culture, and entertainment destination is what we at City Center see as one of our most important missions. With a renewed energy to bring arts, culture, and entertainment to the central business district, City Center is committed to downtown vibrancies and sustainability. For more information on what's going on downtown, visit our website at citycenterdanbury.com. And now I'd like to introduce our guests. First, we have Lisa Scales. She is the Executive Director of the Housatonic Valley Cultural Alliance, a nonprofit organization which works to support and strengthen the arts, historical, and cultural organization, as well as individual artists through collaboration and coordination to further economic development in the 10-town Housatonic Valley. She is an executive management professional with 15 years of project management, partnership building, and executive leadership experience in diverse environments, including local, state, regional, and national organizations. She has governed a range of functions in the area of civil rights and education advocacy, operation plan development, public relations, budgeting, resource development, and administration management. In the past, she has served as the project director for the Danbury Youth Services, a project director for the Midwestern Connecticut Council on Alcoholism, and president and vice president of the Connecticut State Conference of the NAACP branches. In 2007, she joined the Housatonic Valley Cultural Alliance. She is a graduate of Western Connecticut State University. Thank you, Lisa, for joining us today.
Thank you, Andrea.
We also have Tom Carruthers. He is a next-door neighbor from the town of Bethel. Tom is an event, entertainment, sponsorship marketing professional who works in the capacities of agent, manager, and consultant. He has helped a wide variety of properties, including sports, arts, and cause-related not-for-profit and for-profit organizations. Tom has produced and promoted a diverse list of entertainers since the formation of Thomas Carruthers Entertainment in 1980, including the likes of such notables as the Great Mambo King, Tito Puente, with Cecilia Cruz, to other notables like Smokey Robinson, the Average White Band, and Tower of Power. He is also the owner and manager of the successful R&B funk band Funkestra. Tom has been involved with the production of several film festivals in the region and is a member of Hartford's Hollywood East Task Force, the organization established by Speaker of the House Amen to help support and build a sustainable film and music industry in Connecticut. He joins us here tonight as the producer of the Connecticut Film Festival, a 9-month-long series of weekend festivals around the state of Connecticut, which culminates in a 6-day and night independent film music festival right here in downtown Danbury this May 20th to 25th. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Lastly, we have Jason Bartlett. He is the state representative for District 2 that represents Danbury, Bethel, and Reading. He was raised in Reading as well as being a UConn graduate. By day, he is a mortgage broker with his own company called Connecticut First Capital Corporation. Over the last year, his focus on the Capitol has been in the growing film industry in Connecticut, as well as preserving open space, especially regionally with Terre Haute, and expanding the parking train in the area of railroad stations. In his work on the Capitol in Hartford, he serves on the Educational Committee, Human Resources, and the Finance, Revenue, and Bonding Committees. Thank you all for being here tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So where should we start?
Well, first of all, I'd like
Well,
to
let's have
say,
Tom jump right in.
You know, when you read off the list of everything you've been working on within a year and a few months, I'm just amazed at the amount of events going on in downtown Danbury, and I'm really honored that the town decided to get the film festival involved with this huge list of events that's going on. So there really is a lot going on.
There is, and I
Amazing.
think it's starting to pick up ground. I know that from in my position that I get people stopping by all the time wanting to support the downtown, and that's how we first met.
Right.
Right?
And there was an article in the Fairfield County Business Journal that Bob Chavala wrote, and you called me out of the blue in January of '07. I think it was right after you
It
took
must have been after. Yeah, I started mid-February.
in mid-February. Well, it was right after you took your position. So it was really nice to, kind of get that introduction right off the bat from somebody in such authority.
Oh yes, authority.
Big shot now.
Oh boy. Well, we'll see about
Well,
that.
with such a track record of being involved in the arts and entertainment from the Ridgefield Playhouse, and it was an honor, so for me.
Well, thanks, Tom. You've never expressed that before. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the film festival, the background, because it wasn't always the Connecticut Film Festival.
The festival started in 2005 with a great group of people that I worked with. It was around the end of October 2005, and it started as the Bethel Film Festival. And there were 6 partners involved, and we threw a humdinger of a festival. We had a great regional festival, great content. A woman named Carol Siegel was our programming director, who did an incredible job, and Paul Schuyler owned the Bethel Cinema at the time, and he was a partner involved in the event. There was a fellow who's not with us anymore, Peter Howland was the PR person. So we had a really good combination of things. And the conversation started about 2003 with a fellow named Jeff Seckendorf, who's a filmmaker who has since moved to California. He was commuting back and forth, and he and I had a lot of meetings on having an event around April or May. But this new organization we put together in Bethel decided the fall was a beautiful time to do it. And that's when we ended up doing it. And then what happened was in late 2005, there were all these rumblings up in Hartford about this tax credit that was going to happen. And I was kind of keeping my ear to the ground and finding out what was going on. And I said, this is going to happen. I think I should change the name of the festival to Connecticut Film Festival. It was more all-encompassing. Several of us with the Bethel Film Festival wanted to take it on the road and go to a couple towns, but I don't think people in Hartford would want to have the Bethel Film Festival in their town, or in New Haven. So we changed it to the Connecticut Film Festival.
No offense to Bethel, of course.
Right. Well, I love Bethel, So changed it to the Connecticut Film Festival, and since this was a statewide initiative, of course, the tax credit, which at the time it was being put together just for the film industry, we decided, well, why not do it around the state, kind of like a road show. So we did it all at once in 8 cities and towns, all at the same time, and that took place in October of '06.
Right.
And we were trafficking film 200 miles a day. I mean, huge cans of 35 millimeter film, driving it around, and also digital production on these large video cassettes called DigiBeta and Beta SP.
So a little craziness going on trying
crazy.
to execute that.
Yeah. And I flew my nephew out here from Florida. Said, "Hey, will you be my driver?" So we drove the stuff around the state, and it was pretty successful. Our main town was in Westport. We got over 4,000 people to attend throughout the state. And then decided to tweak it a little more and keep it as a statewide event to really, garner a lot of interest, from the state, from the communities, outreach to the communities and bring independent film to where it hadn't been before. So that was sort of its purpose, and decided in September what we would do is we would create a 9-month event in September of '07.
And that kind of follows, I'm sorry for interrupting, that kind of follows like a performing arts schedule, like a season
Right,
that
it's
you
like
might
a
have in
season.
a theater, like from
Exactly.
September to May.
So we were in 9 cities and towns. Well, it's going to be 9 cities and towns come April 11th, 12th, and 13th. We'll be in Trumbull. And but so we've already done 8 cities.
And you were in Norwalk
We were
just
in
recently?
Norwalk just recently.
Yeah,
we were in
that's fun.
Wilton. We were in Stamford. We were in New Canaan. We were in Greenwich. A lot of it was towards the western part of the state, but we were also up in Hartford and New Haven. So we were throughout, kind of from the Connecticut River going west. And part of the idea of how we would expand the festival was based on the culture and tourism districts. So we covered coastal Fairfield County, New Haven, Hartford, and what they call the Northwest Connecticut Convention and Visitors Bureau, which is Litchfield County,
And where
about
Danbury is
48 or
located,
49
right.
towns where Danbury is located. Next year, what we're going to do is we're going to progress, and we're going to be doing some festivals along the coastline down in the Mystic and New London area, and we've talked to the people at the Guard Arts Center, and we're going to try and expand out towards the eastern reaches. And so that's how the festival will expand in 2008 and 2009. But what's most exciting is the whole 9 months culminates in 6 days and nights here in Danbury. And I think one of the most exciting things for me of having it in Danbury, because we pitched it to several towns around the state, was, first of all, Danbury stepped up to the plate first and swung the bat and decided to host it, which was great, because I was having to consider driving to Middletown and Wesleyan University.
And it's not
on a
bad. You
regular
live in
basis.
Bethel.
And I
And,
live in
yeah.
Bethel, so and with the cost of gas.
But
it
you're
was-
also,
it was
Started here.
yeah, and you're
And it started here,
and it
too.
started in this area,
Right.
and you're a supporter of downtown revitalization. We've had this
Absolutely.
conversation.
Yeah.
So.
And so, that's where it's ending up. And I think the most exciting thing for me is the phone rings every day with a hotel who wants to help, with a theater who wants to help. I mean, we've got J-Loft
SAG
here.
members who
SAG
wanna- yeah,
members.
who wanna help.
Everybody's coming out of the woodwork to embrace it, and they're calling me. Corporations are calling to sponsor the festival. I got a call right
Oh,
off.
I have something I have
Oh,
to
you've
share.
got some
Yeah,
more
someone
leads
came
for
in
me.
today actually at the City Center offices interested
Yeah.
in sponsorship. So
Yeah,
I'll
so
share
it-
that information with you afterwards.
So, I mean, when people get involved like that, it's really exciting. It means a lot to you when you're producing, you're promoting an event and producing an event. So.
It is, and I think too, as far as the city of Danbury, I mean, it was really wonderful that they supported this sponsorship. It was
Right.
money that they allocated that was largest amount they've ever put into a sponsorship, and we went to the Common Council to pitch that. Jason was there. You were there. I was there. Wayne Shepard from the Economic Development Department, as well as Jim Whitney from the Northwest Connecticut Conventions Bureau, and that was. I look back fondly on that night.
Yeah.
And Jason, can I ask you, when did you first make contact with Tom? Or a larger question is, being up at the state capitol, there must be a lot of buzz about the film industry up there. Today I was actually up in a matter relating to City Center at the state office building, and I came out and saw a vanity plate with CT film on it.
Okay.
And I thought, oh yeah, this thing it's really taken off.
Well, Connecticut has really become is becoming Hollywood East, at least. And we did this tax credit for film, and it's really spread across the state, where we've done, I think, a couple films in Danbury. We had one in Reading, Norwalk and Stamford, all along the shoreline. So producers are coming to the state trying to take advantage of this tax credit. And I give a lot of credit to Tom for having vision, because in the art world, right, you have to have some vision to make some of this happen. And basically what Tom has proposed, and what he came to me as a proposal, is, hey, look, I have this film festival that I'm doing it across the state, and I want to blow it up. And I want to do like a Sundance, and I want to do it here in Danbury. And I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. And what do we need to do? And of course, Tom's answer was, well, I need money. So,
Which you're still sort of working on for him on the
no,
state
actually,
level?
we've made some progress.
Oh, that's
so. A lot of times when you have ideas and it's difficult to get doors opened, the first thing I did was, because the speaker had really done this tax credit, was to share Tom's vision with the Speaker of the House. So we went
And
up
that's
there.
Speaker Amon.
Speaker
right?
Amon.
Yep.
So we went up there, we pitched it, we brought in the Chair of Commerce, We brought in the chair of the Finance Committee. We've brought in the Appropriations chair. And he's been working the legislature. You know, he's probably a better lobbyist than I am at this point.
I don't doubt that.
I don't know. You know how to work the room, Jason.
He's on the Hollywood Task Force now, which I think has been beneficial to
Oh, yeah, it's
Danbury and to
exciting.
Tom.
It's great.
Because you have all these different people from all over the country that are on this task force and within the state. And he's managed to take his vision of this kind of Sundance Tribeca Film Festival and try to tie it in with the tax credit and get them to integrate. And so then we went to Mayor Boughton, who I have to say also had vision, which is
Yeah,
great.
absolutely.
We have a mayor in the city
Great.
that has vision for downtown in terms of doing something for our businesses and vision for the arts and making Danbury a destination. And he, you know, we sat down, made a presentation to him, he got behind it, and everybody got involved, including yourself. And the Common Council had vision. It's really good.
I know I'm excited. One of the things that this does, from my perspective, is it really elevates the discussion around the creative community, you know, and this whole idea of you know, collaborating between business and municipalities and getting, you know, people who are associated with film and the entire industry, you know, together. I think that is really exciting.
And you mean that from a regional perspective as
I
the
mean that
director of
from
the
a
Housatonic Valley
regional, of
Cultural
course,
Alliance?
yeah. But you know, of course, Danbury being the economic center of the Housatonic Valley, what better place to really celebrate that and begin that discussion? And very appropriate, and it is refreshing and just really, I think, gratifying to see so much support from our mayor and vision, and so many people get behind this. It's very exciting.
You know, I look at it this way, and I'm a little bit more political probably than anybody here, but you know, Danbury has had some problems in terms of public relations and image and so on and so forth. And one of the things that I was hoping was that if we embrace something that is going to bring thousands of people to downtown Danbury and support our small businesses, and also diverse, because I believe you have, how many categories of film do you have?
Oh, they're right back there. There's 8 of them.
So you have 8, and within those 8, you can have things that are diverse that, you know, environmentalists might want to come see, or,
Right.
you know, the Portuguese-Brazilian community might be
Precisely.
interested in. You know, you have international films, and you know, we have a
Environmental, yeah.
diverse community. So bringing in a great demographic to spend some money here, but also including the community as well to support some of the diversity. So I think we're fortunate.
I'm
to
sorry,
have
and the
it. Go ahead.
conservative numbers that were presented to the Common Council were based on numbers generated from the Northwest Visitors and Convention Bureaus, and those conservative numbers are 5,000 people.
Right.
So, of course, we're hoping for a lot more than that.
And then to be able to, you know, I remember your presentation from the Common Council talking about the Palace Theater and
Yeah, that's
opening
very
up the
exciting.
doors. I mean, you know, since I was a kid, I mean, I used to go to the Palace
Yeah.
Theater and see the movies,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's been a long, long, long time. And so to see Mr. De Silva there and to see him extend his hand to both Andrea and to Tom, you know, that gives me some hope that maybe we can, on the state level, again, open up some discussions about what we could do, you know, for downtown and that piece of it. So, you know, I think it could open up a lot of possibilities.
Absolutely.
And hopefully the community is going to come out and support it.
Well, yes, hopefully that is what happens.
That's what we need, people.
That's what we need. Come on down, May 20th to 25th. I think also too, it's just it's a nice collaboration, as Lisa mentioned, with people, and there's a lot of people who are ready and willing to participate in a Danbury that's a downtown that's more vibrant, and I mean, I just think that's great. And I think one of the things that I really appreciate about the film festival, or that why I find it so attractive, is that there's a lot of components to it. I mean,
Right.
it's not just about screening films. And I don't know if you want
Well-
to talk to that, Tom, or, you know, the educational component, the professional component of it, and then again how that builds on the creating a task workforce in Connecticut.
Well, the thing that's interesting about it is if you're going to for instance, the Bethel Film Festival was a film festival. We had, I think, 6 or 7 categories, and it was really showing about, just about showing great films, and we achieved that. I mean, there was great content. Everybody was really impressed with a first-year event like that. But moving ahead and knowing that there was a much bigger picture, sort of a greater good from the whole state standpoint, because there was all this synergy going on, realized that, and also with the knowledge that there's 2,500 film festivals around the world at any given time, not all at the same time, but I mean, you know, on a yearly basis, you have to come up with an event that's going to differentiate itself from everything else in the region, which means the Hamptons or Boston or Rhode Island, Tribeca.
City,
You have to come up with something that differentiates, and at the same, and it's got to be authentic, and it's got, you know, it's got to be
a little bit
unique.
Organic too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And so that was part of the decision to dovetail this with what was going on in the state. First, it was just about the synergy going on and having kind of a road trip or a road tour around the state. Then I realized there was a much greater good, especially when I got together with Jason, and he set up all these meetings in Hartford, because we've had a whole bunch of meetings in Hartford. It was like Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. You know, I was just
A great
shocked.
film, by the way.
And a great film, and it was such a blast watching Jason work the legislators and everything. He's great, you know.
Yeah.
So we got together, had a meeting. After that, I came out with a really solid proposal, because I realized what they needed to market the festival. I mean, market the film industry and the state and the music industry. Because what happened is in 2006, it was a tax credit for just film. But what they did was they expanded it in 2007 to the most competitive tax credit in the country. It's 30%.
Which is phenomenal, because what's the
it is.
average cost of a film production? I mean, even
Well, I
if
mean,
it's $1 million, you're talking $300,000 in sales.
Yeah, I mean, I was at a sponsorship marketing conference in Chicago last week and met somebody from Giant Screen Films, which is one of the few film companies that produces IMAX films. There's only a handful of IMAX film production companies, and I sat there and was lobbying them to bring their film to the state. I was on the phone with a filmmaker who's spending several $1 million on a film today, who's considering putting their last project, you know, their previous project in the festival. And I was lobbying him, instead of doing it in New Mexico, which has a great tax credit and program, bring it to Connecticut. So I'm kind of like, I'm feeling
And
like
what's
I'm on
unique
state
about
lobbies.
the tax credit is that it extends to all facets of
Well,
film
it
production?
extends to all production
We're
and
extending it now
post-production.
to digital. In this session, we're going to extend it out to digital media and other media. So we're going to...
So not just film, like this would
Right.
include commercials,
Right,
for
and you've
example,
got that
or web
component
streaming?
in your...
Well, yesterday there was a hearing with a whole bunch of people from the music industry that Jason and I were both attending, and they were speaking to the Finance Committee on why it's really important to pass the bill, essentially to build an infrastructure for recording studios in the state. That's why the tax credit's needed.
And here's where we want to go with it. I mean, yeah, all these films are coming. The one concern that we have as policymakers is we want this money to be spent in Connecticut, and that's what we're trying to grow. So we're trying to grow a labor force.
Right.
We're trying to integrate with curricula and academia. Okay, we didn't mention yet, but WestCon is
We're
a
in talks
partner
with WestCon and partnering the whole thing.
with this. Now, WestCon wants to get an arts building, trying to get the governor to release $8 million for that. And they have a curricula right now, but we'd like to see, or I'd like to see them expand that to take advantage of the film and tax credit. We'd like to grow our high schools, and I know Tom has talked to Wilton High School. I'm hoping he's going to get over to Bethel and Danbury and have a category in the film festival where high school kids will have their own submissions, and
That would
we'll
be
teach
nice.
our young people, this is another career that you can go into, and you start in
And
high
stay in
school
Connecticut.
and go to
Stay in
our
Connecticut
our,
and
our
stay, yeah.
schools, and then hook up with one of these companies and get some jobs. Because what I don't want to see is, I don't want to give away these tax credits and then they're importing vendors from New York and California and other states. We want them to use people that are here, and
But the people have to be here to
Right.
use
Well,
them.
they need an educational component, which is
Yeah.
also part of the festival.
Yeah, I mean, the festival isn't the only solution, but the components of the festival are culture and tourism, and part of that culture and tourism is the very credible content that we have. And I might add, my programming director programmed for the Sundance television channel for 5 years, and also
And
the
that's
Jacksonville, Jean Tate,
Jean.
and she programmed for the Jacksonville, Florida Film Festival for 4 years. So.
Which both of those have excellent reputations.
Yeah, they've got
as
great
festivals,
reputations. So she's great at choosing content after it's been pre-screened. It kind of passes the acid test, she gets it. So you've got the culture and tourism component, you've got an educational component built into the festival, you've got a labor force development component and an economic development component. And the labor force development, part of what Jason was just talking about, is a little bit of the passing of the tax credit was kind of the cart before the horse, but they had to get it passed. And now what the Hollywood East Task Force is working on is labor force development in the state and marketing of the industry in the state to make it a sustainable industry so it lasts for years and years and years.
And develops and grows and hopefully
Right.
segments and.
So what my plan is to do is to start working with different high schools around the state and start to develop more of a student film festival that will also be part of this annual festival and have sort of a sub-student festival and take professionals, and when I say professionals, I don't mean just cameramen and gaffers and crane operators and that sort of thing, from the artistic standpoint, but also lawyers who deal with intellectual property rights and contract law, and things that may seem really boring to the average high school student who's in a film program or television program like at Wilton High School or some of the other vocational schools around the area or up at Danbury High School, but they get to learn that you can't just steal something off the internet and throw it on your film. They also in this whole labor force development, people need to understand that if they have skills, blue collar, white collar, pink collar skills, they can be tweaked a little bit and they can become part of this industry too. I mean, this industry needs carpenters, needs plumbers, it needs electricians,
Set designers, yep.
it needs
Good point. It's good.
exactly. So there's tons of opportunity for people that already have a skill set, and it's also a great opportunity for people who are deciding, especially in their late 40s,
Oh, wait, maybe they're turning 50 or
yeah,
something,
like me.
right?
And they want to.
And when is a couple weeks?
Yeah, just a couple of weeks.
Yeah, just a couple
and so,
Did you hear the wavering in his voice?
just a couple of weeks. So it's an opportunity for people who are changing careers too.
Tom, I want to go back to the school component. Now, you said that this is already being done in one or two schools? Or?
No, I've been in talks with Wilton High School and the Wilton Teen Librarian, and the only reason I'm thinking about launching it there is that they have an incredible AV department, and it's a perfect place to have a pilot program and work with the Wilton Library. And then what I would do is, after we've tweaked that model, bring that model up into this region. I understand from Speaker Amon and I think Carla Leone, Representative Leone, that in I believe it was Milford, there was a vocational school that has a great television station. So we can work with areas that actually have the gear and the equipment. Then you can take students from surrounding towns and draw them into the same programs. Of course, you have to jump through a lot of hoops because there's legalities and can this kid come from this high school and that high school. But the end game is to get a whole bunch of students collaborating, whether they're from affluent neighborhoods or they're from less affluent neighborhoods,
a lot of
and get them into programs, writing scripts together, developing short films.
Well, I think the arts
together.
does that too. It can bridge those gaps.
Oh, absolutely.
I think, all that being said, I think that the greatest benefit is that there's branding here, okay, which I know you can appreciate.
I can appreciate
And
branding.
everything that we're talking about, I mean, kind of comes back to branding Danbury.
Sure.
And it's a Connecticut Film Festival, but it's hosted in the city of Danbury. So whether you're having high school kids participate in one day showing up in Danbury, or people who have been working, and some eventually showing up in Danbury and participating, or just tourists coming from, New York or other states, they're coming to Danbury, Connecticut. And, it may not mean or sound like it means a whole lot now, but if we keep doing this, it's going to grow, and it's going to really mean
And it's going to
something.
identify the region.
And it's going to be a great brand which is positive
For
Danbury.
Danbury.
You know,
And we don't know what kind of impact, positive impact, but there's no way to measure that kind of you know, outlook at this point, because I mean it's just the potential is so so
But we
big.
do have to add that the Northwest Connecticut Convention and Visitors Bureau is doing an economic impact study while the festival is going on.
Yeah, we'll have real
Yeah, that's
numbers.
right.
We'll have
Yeah.
real
And then,
numbers to be
then
able
the
to-
city will be able to take a good look at that
just from the
afterwards.
that experience by
Yeah.
itself. Yeah.
I do want to remind callers that this is a call-in show, so we do invite you to call in. The number here is 203-792-4101. So please call if you have a question for any of our panelists or commentary on film or the impact it could have for downtown Danbury.
I think something that I want to mention that's very important is, you know, I see this as a community partnership, and because of the flood of people that come out, say, how can I get involved? We have close to 200 volunteers that we've collected over the last couple of years, and the majority of the volunteers are in the Bethel, Danbury, Housatonic Valley region. And that's one sort of level of community partnership with these volunteers. And then you have businesses in town who have stepped up to the plate and say, how can I get involved and how can I assist? But the other thing that I find that's very important is that there needs to be more media sponsors who want to get involved, newspaper, radio, and lend a hand, because they can really reach out to the masses. And they can really help create this community partnership even more, because they can make a difference in developing this new industry in the state. And you know, we're working on a small budget, but I think sometimes if the media understands that instead of just going with, you know, chasing down a fire or crime, and they take a few seconds to really put some information into their newspaper, their radio, or their television station about an event going like this. No,
I only know one in Danbury that's going to see this show. But
no, this is really an important point. They can make a difference in developing a new industry. I mean, they have the strength to develop a new industry and also develop a labor force and create jobs in the state. And I'm not running for office. I really
He
feel
wants to
this
make
let
way.
me
that
help
clear.
you out. And, you know, do you have a website that people can go to so they
Absolutely,
can?
yes.
Why don't
Thank
you
you
do
very
your
much for
commercial? You're welcome.
Okay. No, why don't you say it?
ctfilmfest.com.
That's right.
Right?
ctfilmfest.com, and actually we'll be launching a new website. We're working with
A downtown
a downtown
business, yes.
business run by Daryl Art. It's called Plaid Design. They used to be VIA, and they're doing a great job. One of the designers, Rob, has been working very diligently on dealing with, you know, all
But are
my
you
ups
looking
and
for
downs on it.
volunteers? You're looking for people?
Absolutely.
To,
Yep.
So they should go
And
to the
there's
Yes,
a
sign up or something?
on the website you can click
Yeah,
onto
if
volunteer.
you go to the website, just click on volunteer. There's a very comprehensive web form to fill out.
What kind of things can
It's
people do?
comprehensive. It's exactly like, you know, what you're interested in.
Yeah.
Basically, what your skills, what
Because we
what
want to
times you're
match
available.
people to the jobs as opposed to just, you know, we want to
Because
know
there's
what
so
you
much.
like to
Yeah,
do.
there's so
So if
much
I do like a
that they can do.
YouTube thing, can I submit, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. If you've got that YouTube.
Do you have a YouTube thing?
No, but I could do one.
I'm going to shift gears a little bit and invite Lisa to talk a little bit about the collaboration that you're working on with the Connecticut
Tom.
Film
Like our
Festival.
lunch today.
Yeah.
I will say at this point too that I'm also involved with the Housatonic Valley Cultural Alliance and serve as the vice president of the organization.
Yeah.
And have enjoyed so much working with you
Yeah, well-
since you've been on board. You've been a wonderful asset to the organization.
Well, thank you, Andrea. No, but you've been wonderful, and I
Oh, you've been wonderful.
like you said with your board,
Feel a
I've
love
had.
fest coming. I think I should move.
I have had the great fortune of working with a lot of good people like yourself, and you know, the Alliance is thrilled, as I said before, to work with the film festival. We get to we're involved with some of the education components, you know, that Tom had mentioned, and so we look forward to being able to, you know, again, elevate this discussion around getting people connected with the film industry. So there's that connection, but we're also interested in getting information to artists or people who may have an interest in getting into the film industry. And when I say artists, I mean, anyone that's connected to the creative community. Well, you don't want to call me. You want to call HBCA to find out how can we get some information about the tax credits that's connected to the film festival, because as you know, we're working together in putting together some kind of a workshop or information session around stuff like that.
And also HBCA is coordinating some of the signature events that are going to be downtown.
Right, yeah. We get to do the real cool and fun stuff, like the opening night, so we're excited about that.
Our big tented event downtown.
Yeah, the tented event downtown, which everybody is invited to, and we hope everybody will come out for that.
Right.
That should be fun.
And we're going to have our hand in the Hibernian Club, right? The green.
Yes, the green room.
You like that?
Yes.
Oh, I tell you.
I know where you were on St. Patrick's
It's
Day.
right there, right near the palace, and it's
Right.
it's going to
And
be
don't
fun. We're
forget
going to
the,
dress it up.
Yeah,
Don't forget the awards brunch.
Yeah, we've got that on Sunday, and then there's going to be, some kind of reception for the folks in the film industry and that's working the film
And
festival.
a member of the HBCA has designed the award.
Yes,
Right. Which
yes.
is, are you calling it the Connie? Is that what you're calling it?
The Connie?
We'll have to ask Carter what it's called.
Yeah, that's a beautiful piece she put together. Yeah, that was very, very nice. So, I think that people will really, be very excited and have a good time with all these events. Of course, we want everybody to, pack them in.
What's the price of some of these things? Just
The price of the
didn't-
single tickets?
yeah, like
For each of the events? Yeah.
The range for single tickets will run between about $6 and $8. We haven't totally established all the pricing yet, but what we want to do is we want to establish pricing for single tickets, day passes, like a 5 pass, a 10 pass, and an all-access pass. An all-access pass will get you into all the main party events, as well as any films or workshops that you want to see. And single tickets will be used for either film or workshop panel discussion. And our main idea here is to make it as affordable to everybody. We don't want this to be exclusive to any group of people. We want to make sure everybody can afford to come to see a film or go to a workshop or go to a party. So we're going to do our best to keep the prices real affordable. Now, you could go to some film festivals and you could, if you went down to New York, you could spend $300, $500, $1,000, depending on what level your passes are. But,
is that right?
Yeah, but we're showing films that have shown at Sundance and shown at Tribeca and shown at Toronto, and so you're going to see a lot of the same quality films here that you would see if you went to one of the biggies. And this will be the biggie eventually. So
the idea would be
That's right.
you come, you do the party, and then you go see a film, or you see a film and then come after to a party.
A lot of the parties are after the films. They're at night.
Yeah, I mean, a typical day might be, well, the only thing going on Tuesday is the opening night and the opening night bash at the Palace in the lobby and the foyer of the Palace, which is just going to be great.
And we don't want to tell too much because we've got some really exciting stuff.
But a typical day might be, on Thursday, you start going to some films at 11 o'clock, you go out to a restaurant in town where there's a prefix price and you show your pass and you get a special pricing for lunch somewhere. Then you go on to watch a film, or you go to a panel discussion because you're interested in editing. Even though you may not be a filmmaker, like me, I'm an armchair editor. I want to know about editing. I love editing and I love lighting in films. And then after that, maybe at 5 o'clock, you go to a networking event where you can meet filmmakers and hang out. Or if you're a filmmaker, which might be a Two Steps restaurant or Chow's or one of the restaurants downtown, then you can go to another film. And then at 9 o'clock that night, after the 7 o'clock film, you might go to a screening reception at another restaurant downtown. And a lot of these, you just bring your ticket, you show up at the restaurant, and you become part of the event. There's not going to be a lot of extra charges involved. You just go, there will be food, you can go have a beer, have a glass of wine, have a soda, whatever you like to do. Then on, say, Friday night, same sort of thing occurs, but on Friday night, you know, there'll be a VIP event going on or something like that. So there's a lot of options and opportunities, and this will all be on the schedule on the website where people can check it out.
It's just going to be a real big happening, basically.
Yeah, and it's also, you've also selected screening sites that are in the vicinity of one another. So a lot of it is accessible by foot downtown. Once you get downtown, we have ample parking. We have 2 parking garages that are going to be within 2 and 3 blocks of most of the screening areas.
Yeah, you can walk, it's 3 minutes maybe to almost everything from one place to the other.
Yeah.
Except for the crossing guard or crossing light. That's about it.
But why don't you talk about some of the venues? And I will once again remind viewers that this is a call-in show, and it would be great to have you call in. 203-792-4101.
I have to say something controversial, I guess.
Like what?
I don't know. I don't want to say anything.
I want to get my cell phone.
If it gets people to call, I will.
You're supposed to tell me to say something.
Oh, okay. Say something.
Yeah, protect yourself. Just.
So I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
I was just going to start a conversation about the different venues that are being used for the film festival.
Okay, well,
I mean, the Palace, that's
well,
the
the
most exciting.
Palace is one of them. Finalizing some details with Westcon, but we're planning on using, I think it's called the Berkshire Theater, is it? It's in the Student Center. Great little theater. And also there's a couple of rooms where we should be holding, we'll be holding some workshops and panel discussions there. So this year we're really focusing on just using one building there. I mean, Westcon's opened their arms, it's been great, and they've really embraced us, and they've offered up a lot of facilities. But this year, trying to put things together, you know, trying to put 6 months
Well, we got
worth
the
of
nod from the
planning.
city in February.
Yeah, it was a little late, so I've really been hustling, nailing places down. Another location, I think I mentioned before, is J. LaPierre, runs the Heirloom Arts Theater. I actually was just talking to him this evening, and we're hopefully
Which is just an alleyway away from the Palace
Yeah,
Theater.
it's right next to the Palace. I mean, that's like 2 minutes walk, you know. And we're working with the library. The library's got a great venue downstairs. I think it seats about 125 people. Perfect place for panel discussions, workshops. I've been in discussions with the Women's Center. I'm hoping that we'll be able to use one of the rooms there because we have a lot of films that are done by women directors, and also that are on the topic of, you know, the women are the main characters of the film. So we would like to have something relevant to the Women's Center, like women who've become filmmakers and changed their careers and opened doors for themselves, that sort of thing. So have those sort of workshop and panel discussion experiences up there. Also, St. James Church across the street is opening their doors to us so that we can do some educational events there. And John Farley, who owns the Empress Professional Building, has also opened his doors to let us use one of his office spaces that's vacant right now.
And we're also scouting for visual art space, right?
Visual art space, yep.
Well,
Again, relating to the arts and having some gallery space with some artists and perhaps vintage movie posters on exhibit.
So there's a lot going on. I mean,
There's a
all
lot,
these people have been really gracious and getting involved, and we're even using an alleyway downtown. Never got a tent. I mean, how cool is that? So you know,
it definitely creates a certain vibe, right?
Yeah, it will.
Which is very appropriate.
That should be head turning on that.
And I think what's also very, very exciting is that there's and it's been in the local papers, there's a film that's going to be, the director of the film is setting up shop right downtown at the Old Emmanuel Lutheran School. And for 90 days we'll be filming in Danbury a movie called The Many Lives of Pippa Lee, which has a cast that's just, I mean, anyone is going to like this movie.
They're going to be there during the festival?
They're going to start shooting end of March, beginning of April for 90 days.
Yeah, this is the Rebecca Miller
movie, and it includes Keanu Reeves, Alan Arkin, Robin Wright Penn, Parker Posey, Julia Moore,
Great
Winona
time.
Ryder, Monica Bellucci.
Do we want those people in town during
You
our
know, I
festival?
don't know. What do you think? I'm just, I got a little bird told me today that they're opening, and I haven't even shared this with you, Tom, or anybody else.
Oh,
But
hot off the presses.
possibly they're opening the day that they are going to shoot. They're going to start shooting downtown. is Tuesday, May 20th.
Oh, come on.
Oh, no kidding.
I'm not teasing. It could be. It's really. I mean, which would be amazing.
That would
It
be
to have
fun.
any one of those people
Amazing.
at our opening.
Well, I guess I'll be
film
coming to the
festival.
movies at night.
Yeah,
Wouldn't that be
Terrific.
that would be
Wouldn't that be something?
fantastic. Wow.
And the director, who grew up in Roxbury, from what I understand, and this is hearsay, so I'm not talking from a direct conversation, but was very pointed about wanting to have this film in Danbury, and specifically in locations downtown.
Really? I hope that's the case. That's really nice to hear.
That is
Yeah.
excellent.
Man,
We'll have to get the
Danbury.
paparazzi out.
Well, see,
for
this
real.
is the idea, and I'm hoping, you know, we met with the new film director in the state today, I did, and looking for an ally in the administration, Governor Rell's administration, because you have the legislature, then you have the executive branch, and I'm hopeful that...
And they're
Somet-
balanced in different ways, right?
Sometimes, you
On
know,
the Capitol.
sometimes they go like this, you know. But we try to get some synergy going and get all the different components here talking to each other, because I think that that's the thing. If you can get, you know, as they're coming in, you extract some, well, you know, we're doing a film festival in Danbury, you're doing this movie, how about making
Yeah,
sure that
yeah.
your producers show up or your star shows up, and
Or
that
how about a
creates the
panel
excitement.
discussion? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm hoping to do that. We did get some money for the festival in the state budget this year that will pass. So you know, the state is making a commitment to this going forward long term. We start a little small because of economic conditions, but it's in there. It's in the budget. So Danbury's on board and the state's on board. So you know, I think we're going to grow this. I'm
And
excited.
what's more, I've also heard, like in general terms, about creating 5 areas of industry within the state, or is that the term that they're using, or 5?
You're talking about you're talking about the film, music, video, and multi-digital media, which you would refer
I thought it was
to as
focusing on
interactive.
5 areas in the state to really try to develop.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I mean, my plan of expansion is through the arts, you know, the culture and tourism districts, or the convention and visitors.
No, then I
bureaus.
must be
No.
mistaken.
No, anywhere economic development is good, particularly
Okay.
in northern Fairfield County.
Yes, especially.
Maybe my expansion plan is just ringing around the state at this point. I don't know. Andre.
I don't know where I got that information then, but I guess that happens.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Okay, so what else? What else can we talk about with the film festival?
Where are the
we-
callers?
Did we
Where are the
me- did we
callers?
Yeah,
mention
where's
we
the
were
callers? I see
excited?
the button
I see
going.
one ringing.
No, but that doesn't count. It has to come in on this line or that line. 792-4101. You know, I'm surprised at this because generally I found that people who are interested in film tend to be very passionate people and have opinions.
They might be.
There they
No,
go.
they might be working. Maybe they're working.
I don't know, I saw a whole
Might be
bunch
my
of lights
mother
light
calling.
up.
All of a sudden
Location.
there was a bunch of... Okay. So still waiting for that caller? Okay, here we go. Hi, thanks for calling in.
Hello, Andrea.
Yes, hi.
This is Mary Daddario.
Oh, Mary, I haven't seen you in such a long time. How are you
Well,
doing?
And I've missed seeing you too. And Dom and I have just been watching your show, and by accident we turned on your program, and we just want to wish you well. And we know you'll do a tremendous job, and with the success that you had in Richfield, and all the work you did for the Playhouse, and made it what it is today. We want to wish you well, and good luck to all of you.
Oh, Mary, thank you so much. And
Very welcome.
say hello to Dom,
See you,
and you
Andrea.
guys were early supporters. Thank you. Oh, that's so sweet.
That was very sweet.
I haven't seen her in a long time.
You should have made her commit to come to the film festival.
Yeah, I should have.
hung up
Well, I'll have to call her and make sure she gets over. Her husband's, I think he's chair of the Independent Party in Richfield, Dom Daddario.
You know, there's a point I wanted to make earlier, as I like to make lots of points, you all know, that
That's okay.
And so is
Jason
everybody
brought-
else tonight.
Jason brought up, you know, kind of targeting the cultural diversity of our area, and one of the things, once the festival was accepted, and even, you know, by the Common Council, got to work overnight looking, especially for Latino films, which we had a couple, but I wanted to increase the number of them so that we had Portuguese-speaking films and Spanish-speaking films. we started to really go out of our way looking for East Indian films because there's a huge contingent of East Indians in our area. So I mean, that's something that we're trying to do to tie the festival, really tie it to the community, because we have a lot of Anglo films, and we have a very diverse group of films right now, and we have a lot of African American films. But at the end of the day, we really wanted to focus on areas where maybe we were weak in programming, and we're going to do our best to do that this year. And next year, without a doubt, we're going to cover all those areas so that it is really community-based and it's really a community project, but it will still appeal to people whether they're coming from Rhode Island.
And you
or
have
New York
you have a
City.
specific artistic filter that these are filtering through anyway,
Right,
so
exactly.
they'll stand alone on their own merit.
Right.
And one of the hopes also is to make sure that folks in this diverse. This diversity that you're talking about knows about these films and come
Exactly.
out. So, part of our challenge is to make sure that they know about it and that there's films that they could, and most definitely would be, possibly interested in, and to come and see them and be a part of the whole experience.
And then, I mean, here's an interesting, for instance, I was just looking back on the board there. One of our categories is green films, and of course, green's kind of the flavor of the day. You hear about it all the time, and but we really truly care about it, and we want to show green and sort of / outdoor adventure type films. So. For environmental films, we got a whole slew of environmental films, but a couple of our environmental films are actually in Spanish, which is great.
Really?
One of our films called Cartoneros is about the cartoneros, or the recycling and garbage pickers of people who came out in Buenos Aires around the time that the economy collapsed, around 2001. And there's about 20,000 people who make their livelihood going around collecting cardboard, glass, plastic, wool, cotton, anything to
And
make
these
a
are
living.
people, these are not just children, because we've heard about the...
Oh no, the scary thing about this is these are people who were professionals, they were real estate people, they owned businesses, they had houses with 2 cars and family. They lost
And their
everything.
economy collapsed.
Right, and their economy collapsed so bad, and that's what this film is about, and it's an incredibly touching film. I mean, it's unbelievable, and there we go. It's in Spanish, but it also has to do with a green topic, which is very, very
And that's
interesting.
Fabulous.
And that, I think, too, again, speaking to the arts, that how the arts can truly bridge gaps,
Right.
including
Absolutely.
economic gaps.
And especially film, because it's so visual. Everybody
And
understands.
it's a medium that most people are tuned into
Right.
now. And I think, too, speaking to the film you were just talking about, I know personally I've lived a very charmed life and never had to endure any great suffering, but not everyone in a community comes from that same place.
Oh, absolutely.
So
Yeah,
if it
most
lends
definitely.
understanding and to where we all are together in the community, I think that's good
And
work.
Good work, yes.
another film, just looking back here, a documentary film that
I'm
we
just
have.
going to say we have about 30 seconds, so if you want to wrap up.
Another film that we're showing that is an absolute must-see. It's called Beyond the Call.
Yes,
Yes.
Lisa and I saw
Oh, that's
that.
right.
We
You
were
saw
down in
that.
Norwalk.
Yeah.
Incredibly touching
I have to agree.
film. Film you have to come to
So,
see. We're running out of time.
Well, thank you all. Thank you, Representative Jason,
Yeah, it was our-
Bartlett, Lisa Scales,
My
and Tom
pleasure.
Thank you
Carruthers,
very
and
much.
we'll see you all downtown, especially in May for the film festival.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations.